Good afternoon, everyone. Sorry for that bit of delay. My name is Jenna Montgomery, and I am a family and consumer science teacher at Saxe High School. And today I have with me Lakita Graham from South Garland High School and Amy Davis from Lakeview Centennial High School. Lakita is a pre-AP English 1 teacher, and Amy teaches dual credit math at Lakeview. What we're going to do, well, first let's talk about the technology that we actually have in our class. In math class, Amy uses the TI Inspire calculators and also the one-to-one iPads with all of her students. And Lakita and I have access to our one-to-one iPads with our students. In today's webinar, we're actually going to focus on how to use Skype in the classroom. Skype has opened so many doors for teachers around the world. It makes it much easier for teachers to find guest speakers for content areas now, as opposed to a few years ago when we were not able to get people to come and talk to classes or be able to stay and talk to classes. We're able to do this now with Skype. Skype is also helping students to expand their horizons by experiencing new things through virtual field trips and communicating with other students around the world through the Mystery Skype, which is a very cool feature we will be speaking about here in just a moment. Okay. Skype has the misconception that it's just used to make phone calls, but in reality, Skype actually can function as a conference call program, but it holds so many other valuable features such as guest speakers, Skype lesson plans, and virtual field trips, just to name a few. Teachers can use Skype in the classroom to invite professionals to speak to their class about the current concept. They can also utilize Skype as a form of global communication. Through Skype, teachers and students become global learners. The ISTE standard that we're going to be covering today are the ISTE standards 3, 4, and 5. Through Skype, teachers and students become global collaborators, and that means that students use digital tools to work effectively in both local and global teams, collect a variety of backgrounds and cultures to collaborate, interact with experts, community members, and others, lead and contribute in project team working towards a common goal, and understanding of local and global issues and tools to affect positive change. You're able to access Skype on the computer or on the iPad. On the iPad, teachers can download Skype Business from the App Store. It is not available for the students to download at this time, I do not believe. But you can also access it online through the website education.microsoftoffice.com, which you can see right here on the screen. You'll need to create an account, but once you have one, you can access all of the features. One of the ways that we can do this is through virtual field trips. You can take your students for an adventure without ever leaving the classroom, which in today's society with the budget cuts, this is a really great feature. Another way we can use this, continuing on with the field trips, what you can do is go in and look, you can filter through age group, subject, the availability of Skype during that time, any kind of skills development that you might want to have your kids look at, a country or a region or a language. I'm sure that many of you can see how this would be very beneficial in your classrooms. So some of the examples that we have on the screen is if we wanted to explore animals or maybe go through it says hidden forest, or maybe talk to a sea turtle or watch a sea turtle, you can click on those and you'll be able to immediately project that up onto the screen for your kids to view and interact with. So, for example, here's one that to visit a rainforest in Sri Lanka. Since Saturday is Earth Day, we thought we would bring this one up. So when you click on it, this is kind of what you're going to see, and it's going to tell you a little bit about it. So it's going to tell you what ages is it appropriate for, but also the category. This would probably help you with your lesson plans so that you know kind of what TEK it would fall under, and also the language that it's going to be delivered in. And then also when it is available, you can see that by looking up here where it's posted and then where it expires. So that way you can know exactly what's going on. It also gives you a little bit more information about the virtual field trip. So that way you really understand what's going to happen if you decide to use this as a field trip for your class. Oh, and then also you have similar options there at the bottom if you're wanting to, if this one might not be the one for you, but you want to look for something a little bit kind of similar to it or close to it. We also have the Skype lesson plans. This is really interesting and can help you as you're going through and making your lesson plan for this. It works well with integrating it into SchoolNet, so that is also a good option. So for example, we have this lesson plan here on engineering. It tells us who posted it and what it's about. Again, gives you your category, the English, the language that it's going to be in. And then also you've got your Skype links, and then also a PowerPoint that would be going through that they will be working through during the session while they're going through this lesson plan. So, and then a little bit about the lesson plan. So that way you can really understand whether you would like it or not. You can filter lesson plans just like you can any other options that you have. Another thing that you can do is have a Skype collaboration. This is where you can connect with other educators around the world or collaborate on a specific project. An example that I can give you of this, last year, one of my best friends who lives in West Texas, her daughter had a project where they wanted to know how people in a metropolitan area live that's different from where they live. And so we actually had her third grade classroom Skype into my classroom so that the third graders could ask questions of my high school students, and they had some notes. The third graders had notes that they were taking down and things like that. And it actually turned into a really good project for my kids, because in turn what they did is they said, those kids are really cool. We want to write them letters and you know, kind of become pen pals with them. And so that turned into a project that we did this last spring. It was pretty neat. Okay, but here's another example of how to collaborate. So you get to learn about this one right here shows that this is going to be for ages 3 to 5, 6 to 7, or 8 to 10, so elementary, and it's going to be talking about climate, environment, leadership, things like that. Tells you when you're posted and how it's going to go around, how the collaboration is going to work, and what your students need to do to get ready to collaborate, and what they're going to be able to do to get ready to collaborate. And again, you can find all of this information on Skype's website or on the business app for Skype if you're looking on your iPad. Okay, Mystery Skype is another one that we really have enjoyed, and actually Miss Davis Mystery Skyped, and I'm going to let her tell you a little bit more about the Mystery Skype.
All right, so with Mystery Skype, once you've set your classroom up to do Mystery Skype, you get to find classrooms all over the world. You can focus just on the United States or anywhere really. You come up with questions that the students can ask. They have to be a yes or no question, but you know, you just click on any of these little smiley faces. And these are some suggested questions that if you answer yes, then you have another turn. If your answer is no, then it's the next group's chance to see if they can figure out where you're at. I did this with my student council students a couple of weeks ago, and we were being mean. It was another Garland ISD teacher. They didn't know that they were from Garland ISD until they saw a poster in the background. But that was about 10, 15 minutes into the questioning. So they just went back and forth. Are you east of the Mississippi River? Yes or no? And they have to really know geography. I even pulled up a map for the kids to look at once we narrowed it down to a certain part of the states. And then they started asking more specific questions that aren't on this list. But they had a lot of fun, and they kept asking me if we could do it again and again. So once testing is all finished, you never know. You do have to plan in advance with the teacher that you're working with to make sure everyone's scheduled correctly. But on Skype, the website, you can go through the Mystery Skype portion. From the overview, just click on the circle that says Mystery Skype, and you can go through the setup process and sending invitations and the scheduling. It's very, very simple to schedule, and it just shows that you're available once you've logged into Skype, either on your computer using Skype Business or your iPad using Skype Business. One thing that we did notice was that with the iPads, going from an iPad Skype Business into a classroom, the sound quality was a little poor. So it's best to go straight from your computer on this one using your document camera that's on the little stand. So the other thing we can use Skype Business for is guest speakers. And there are already volunteer guest speakers that you can search for by your subject area that you teach. There aren't that many for math. So I was asking friends that I have that are in the professional world, engineers that use the advanced maths that I teach, to see if they would be willing to log into Skype and just be a guest speaker. So I just pull them up and they come in on the screen and talk to my students for a few minutes about how do I use this in the real world, or this is what you can expect on this career using this content. But you can just search, you can use the filter over here, like we can filter for the lesson plans, the field trips. You can just search if you know someone's name, you want to see if they're available. Once you choose somebody, once you click on someone, you just see, are they available on the days I need? You can email them through Skype or contact them outside of Skype and schedule everything. One thing I did notice at the end of Skype, you can get certificates for your students to show that they are global classroom, that they're part of global collaboration. Sorry. It also allows them a place to reflect on what they've learned and to keep track of their adventures on the map. So if you were talking to someone over here in India, then you can put a little star there, or they can make a little note. You know, we were talking about the life of pi in English, so we Skyped with a class from India to talk about their culture, and we brought it all together that way. So you can use this version. There are different versions, of course, but that's a very fun looking version. Yeah. Okay, so back to Jenna.
I also wanted to go over with you guys if we have thoroughly confused you, which sometimes is the case when we do when we do these webinars. I want to plug Atomic Learning through our district. Our district has Atomic Learning, and you can actually get to it by going to garlandisd.net and then click on staff and then trainings. And then over to the right-hand side, there is a link for Atomic Learning, and you can sign in, or you can have your students sign in. And there are a page full on just Skype in and of itself. And what Atomic Learning does is allows you to go through and see, and give lessons and learn things through Atomic Learning. So you can actually go into Atomic Learning and learn more about Skype if you wanted to. Does anyone have any questions? If you have any questions, you can go ahead and tap it up on the right side of the screen. Well, we thank you guys for joining us. If you do have any questions, you can follow us on Twitter. You can get a hold of us through our Twitter handles right there, or you are always welcome to email us via the school email accounts. In just a second, we are going to post that survey link in the chat column for your CPE hour. Make sure that you take care of that within the next couple of minutes, because we will be taking that link down within the next 5 minutes. Thank you.
So leave the screen on. Did you delete it?
I need to put it back up.
It won't, don't think it'll let you. Will it? Or the little, the very front screen. Hour right there. Other than my notes, it's not that bad.
Did you put it on already?
Yeah, the internet died here. I like that. And the internet. Yeah. You did it, yeah.